is it? It says no Detroit or Northern Detroit. No Detroit. Emily, Nebraska, Southwest Ohio. Brian, that's where I am. Nice to see you. Steve, Annapolis. All right, well, thank you all for joining us. It's great to see such great representation from across the country and Canada. And again, my name is Jennifer Cathinson. I am with Build Exact and welcome you guys here today to learn from the professional builder. We have the honor of being here with Owen Chambers, who is the head of member success at the professional builder. He's been there for 8 years. He's a pro. He knows the industry in and out. And he's been working with the founder, Marty Amos, for that time, and will bring his knowledge and expertise moving forward. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to you, Owen. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you're in the audience and you have questions during the presentation, we can interrupt Owen. So just put him in the chat and we can grab him and get answers on demand. So thanks again for joining us, and over to you, Owen.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me today. So guys, exactly right. My name's Owen Chambers from the Professional Builder, and my job today is really straightforward. It's to help you guys build out an action plan, because as business owners, it can be incredibly overwhelming and stressful sometimes working out exactly what we should be focused on, whether that's sales and marketing, numbers and pricing, team and systems, or leadership and leverage in growing a big business, or just a predictable and profitable one. So today's workshop is all around that, prioritizing and executing on how to fix the problems today and the strategic solutions for tomorrow. So what I've done is I've dropped into the chat box today's worksheet, or workbook, I should say. There's a couple of pages in there and a couple of exercises that we'll be doing today. But if you can't download it, then don't worry. A blank piece of paper will be fine, as long as you've got one of these old school pencils or pens. You'll be able to follow along at home and do all of the exercises that we're covering today. So what I'm going to do is jump over to my share screen now, make sure that it was all working. So if you guys can just drop into the chat box a little thumbs up so that I know that I'm not talking to myself here and that we're good to go. You can see that all right. Like we've said, it's open mic night tonight, so I will be. Thank you very much, Tom. Awesome, perfect. It is open mic night. It's always everybody's turn, so make sure that you ask lots of questions. If there's anything that you're questioning, concerned about, got a query around, please just type them in and I will answer them as we go. So we'll be moving fast today, so buckle up, because I want to get all the way through to a game plan for you, 90-day action plan, so that you know exactly what to work on over the next little bit. And at the end, if you still need help, then that's absolutely fine. My business partner, Marty, and myself will be taking game plans, and we normally do these out at, $1,000 a pop, but very comfortable today to be sharing this with all of our Build Exact friends for free. So if this is for you at the end, then absolutely no obligation. You can take us up on it and you can book a time with myself or one of my team members, or you can take everything you learn and put it in place for free. But we'll also be sending you out a couple of bonuses for being here today, because I know how valuable your time is. So we want to reward that. We've got a couple of really key things that have been helping our members most recently, including how to charge for your quotes with our 12-step sales process. We've got a 151-point profit checklist on how you can add $1,000 in net profit per week, per project. Maybe you're hiring for new positions and we've got a really good job ads template that you can swipe and deploy. Or maybe you're wanting to win more work, and we've got a couple of our best performing marketing pillars on how you can really attract the right kind of work for you guys. So for attending today, we'll be sending all of these bonuses out to you after today's session. But put up your hand if you might fall into this camp. Maybe you are being called out on how sharp is your pencil. Maybe your prices are being squeezed a little bit. Maybe you're in that camp at the moment and you're wanting to get a bit of a solution to how you can improve your profitability on your projects. Maybe you are wearing all the hats in your business and you're juggling too many balls at the moment. Are you estimating, selling, marketing, potentially on the tools or going site to site. Maybe you are hiring or firing, dealing with the clients, and the list goes on, picking up materials even. I see Brian's hand has gone up. Or maybe you're in a bit of a bind. Have you got maybe not the margins that you should be looking for, and cash flow can be pretty stressful sometimes. Hundreds of thousands in the account one day, right down to small numbers the next, because, you know, we've got really lumpy cash flow. Lots of bills come in and then all the money goes out, and you're not really sure what money is yours and what money is profit. Or maybe you're just making a bit of slow progress. Like every year seems to be a photocopy of the last, and you don't want 2024 to be that again. You actually want to get some results and turn this business around. I'm a one-person shop, says Brian. I have all the hats on at the same time. Well, hopefully today will be helpful to help you identify what hats will get you the best result over the next wee while, and what you can say no to and what you can say yes to with a little bit more clarity. Because most people that we see are excellent general contractors, they're excellent craftsmen, they're excellent builders, but they haven't yet developed a lot of the skills to be exceptional business owners. And that requires something different. So, you know, that's who we are, and that's what we do here at the Professional Builder. We've been doing this since 2004. Okay, we've got over 2,500 members at this point, and we help our members grow up the builder's ladder. And that's what I want to help you do today as well, because the builder's ladder is really simple. There's two key areas that we can assist with, helping you go from builder to business owner and business owner to entrepreneur. Maybe you want to do developments or spec builds. Maybe you want to run multiple companies with some of your team. But as we go through those stages and those phases, there's a playbook that we use with all of our investment businesses and incubator businesses, as well as our members. And that playbook's relatively straightforward. We start at the bottom and we work our way to the top of all of these stages on the right-hand side. So we start with making sure that you can actually pour from a full cup, taking care of your physical and mental performance, and making sure you've got a really clear vision of the business that you are building. We then plug the holes of the bucket, cash flow, margin, and profitability, before filling up the pipeline with predictable and profitable work moving forward. We then want to dial in our operational excellence, so systems and processes that run the business, and then our extreme ownership, the people that run those systems. All right, so that's the framework that we use to make sure that we can grow predictable and profitable building companies. Can I just get a heck yeah, or a thumbs up, or a high five in the chat box if that makes sense? Or if you've got any questions, then let me know. Woot, woot. Thank you very much. Nice. Awesome. So Michael, thumbs up. Perfect. So relatively straightforward. Thank you, Dave. Our job is to help you build a profitable and predictable building company. That looks like more time and more money, or in our opinion, true wealth. All right. Now, true wealth for most people usually looks like working fewer hours in your ideal role, maybe getting a better work-life balance, or for some of our members, it's structuring an exit plan, either a buy-in, a general manager, or somebody else to pass the business along to. Because I don't know about you, but most of our members were not put on this earth to reconcile accounts, do invoicing, or pick up materials and drop them off at site. You probably have an ideal role that you envisage for your building company that you want to play, and often it's not what I just described. It's not doing all the small tasks. It's normally negotiating contracts, dealing with clients, building exceptional homes, right? And we want to help you build that business. When it comes to more money, it's often making sure that you're paid a really good operator's salary for the work that you do in the company, a really good net profit as well, so that you can hire and retain the best people and buy back your time. Or maybe it's a net profit so you can have net free cash flow and then run multiple businesses or do developments on the side. Who here is in the wanting more money camp, and who here is in the wanting more time camp? I would like to know, because I want to be able to help you best with either systems around your profitability and your growing the business so that you can get a good net profit, or around you buying back your time. Luke says he's after the money. Whoop, whoop. Awesome. John, more time. Excellent. More money. Love it. Mainly time. Yes, Connor. Excellent. Cool. So our job is really simple. It's not to tell you what business to build. That's your job. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Our job is to help you get there faster. So we're normally bridging either a time gap or a knowledge gap. People either don't know what they don't know, and we help them become a great business owner rather than just a great builder or general contractor, or we're bridging a time gap. Look, Owen, I know exactly what I need to do and how to do it. I just want to get it done in 12 to 18 months instead of 36 to 72 months. We're going to bridge a time gap. Rather than reinvent the wheel, swipe and deploy a lot of our systems. Systems from our wealth model around profit, margin, cash flow, performance, process, people, dialing in your niche, getting online, and dominating your local market. And all of these systems that we're going to cover today sit within our roadmap. Okay, so at each stage of the builder's ladder, whether you're in startup, survival, stability, scale, success, or significance, you need to make sure that you have the right systems for the right stage that you're at, and building a strong foundation that you can grow from, so that when the pressure comes on, it comes on both your people and your process, and nobody gets the speed wobbles. Okay, so Dave is after the money, Vincent the money, Connor mainly time, and Brian would like both, obviously, but more money is the short-term goal. Awesome. Okay, well, in that case, this next question is for you guys. What was your income last year, and what do you want it to be this year? We're going to do an exercise. So either blank piece of paper if you are following along at home, or in the workbook that looks like this one and is available in the chat box. Let me just repost it for any new people that have joined. There it is. It's in the chat box now if you are new. You're going to want to go to page. What's that? Oh no, there's no page numbers. Can you believe it? How embarrassing. So title page 3, 4. Oh, sorry. That'll be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Page 8. Focus on the results. This is the one that I'd like us to do now. Okay. And it's going to help us answer that question of how much money did you make last year, and how much money do you want to make this year? So what I'd like you to do right now is answer these questions for where you're at and where you want to be sort of in the midterm, 12 to 18 months from now. So our profit is over and above our salary. Our profit is our net profit, okay, before tax. But what do you want the business to produce profit-wise? Maybe it is currently 130 and you want it to be 300. Maybe it's 300 and you want it to be 800. Maybe you want to take home a cool $1 million, okay? Whatever it is, no judgment. We just want to help you build the business that you want to build faster. So what is the profit that you now make and you want to make 12 to 18 from now? Off what total sales do you expect to do that? Where are your total sales at, or revenue now, or turnover now? And where will it be 12 to 18 months from now? What type of work do you specialize in? Okay, and are you known for? Or what do you want to do more of in the future? What is an average contract size? So maybe at the moment you're doing, a bit of everything, and that includes some small jobs, but that includes some big jobs. So the average ends up being 250. How many projects do you want to run? And you can answer this one annually or at any one time, because maybe you're going to do just 3 or 4 large new builds. And in that case, we probably only want to do 3 or 4 annually. But maybe you're going to do slightly smaller remodels or extensions and additions, and that's going to be 3 or 4 any one time. How many hours a week do you work now, and how many do you want to work? What role do you play? And then anything else important? Are you wanting to pay off your mortgage, take the family on a holiday, retire the wife or the significant other, or do a development or spec build on the side? So I'll give you a couple of moments now to answer your questions. And for all those people that answered the question earlier around wanting more money, how much more money? What does that actually look like? because as we go today, we're going to be doing a business plan, and we cannot work out what to do next if we don't know where we're going from here. We call it an ABZ plan, which I'm sure you've heard before, which is A, where are you at today? B, what is your next step? And Z, what is your destination? And we then don't have to worry too much about C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and the messy middle. We can focus on the very first step in front of us, as long as we know the destination that we are heading. So give me a thumbs up when you are halfway through that, or when you're done, and we can unpack some of the next steps together. Nice. Awesome. Thank you, Luke. And Luke, I think that's like the second or third time you've posted in, but I'm still yet to hear from a couple of names who are on the line today. Colleen, Brian. Oh, Brian. Yeah, a few other people. So, okay, thanks, Brian. There you go. There he is. So make sure that you do post in as we go. But if you've got that, what I'm interested to know is I want you to type in and tell me, what is most important to you 12 months from now? What are you looking to achieve? So, that bottom one at the bottom, is it to pay off your mortgage, go on a holiday, do a spec build, or is it to hit that profit target? What is your answer to what is most important from all of that? I'd love to know. Maybe, it's doing larger size projects. Maybe it is reducing your working hours. So type in, what is your one most important piece? And then we can make sure that we cover that off today. So what we don't want to do is live a cyclical life. We want to have a progressive one and make sure that each year is not a photocopy of the last. So Steve says that he wants to get out of the field. All right. So rather than have a photocopy of last year where we were in the field, what can we do to make sure that we don't have a photocopy of that this year? Now, one of the answers to this is an exercise that we like to do called the business maturity date. And your BMD, or your business maturity date, is when you set a date and time to be at the quote unquote finish line for your business. So if we just did the 12 to 18 month targets that you set in that previous exercise, and we said that we are going to be in these 12 to 18 month targets come 12 to 18 months from now, let's say my birthday. And I hope you guys are all writing this down so that you know when to send me Christmas birthday cards. It's March the 27th. Okay. So for me, my business maturity date, if I was doing this exercise, might be March the 27th. That's right. Thank you very much. And then I've got a target to work towards. Okay. And I know that from that date on, I'm going to be, in Steve's case, out of the field. I'm going to be maybe hitting my net profit targets. And I might have changed my role from doing everything to just working on the sales and project management potentially. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to set a BMD and get really clear around the time and the day that we're going to achieve this by, how many holidays you take a year, how many days off you have, what your net profit target will be, your turnover or total sales, and the number of jobs, and at what gross profit margin. And then we can work backwards from having an estimator, office manager, project manager, who do we need and in what roles to achieve that. And we will then line them up against our cash flow forecast to work out who we can hire and when we can bring them on board. And, generally speaking, we would start with some of our low dollar repeating and recurring tasks that free up headspace and free up your capacity, usually administrative tasks, tasks that are in the office and happen every single week or every single day or every single month, like reconciling accounts, updating your build exact, making sure that you've got the right things set up for your project management to make sure that the project stays on timeline and to budget. And when you do this, great things happen, okay? So just like Lloyd, who worked through his BMD towards getting out of all the office tasks, okay? Managing to get his project manager up to speed, and just recently getting a big new truck, all right? And spending time at the Formula One. Who's into Formula One, or who would be off doing more fun bucket list events if they could, if they weren't stuck in their business, and what would they be? Personally, I'd probably do a lot of the PGA tour circuit and some of the Live Golf Tour circuit. But you know, Steve's putting the thumbs up. Maybe he's more of a motorsport F1 guy. Don't know. Maybe be off in Miami and in Vegas doing the Formula One. But I don't know what you're into. Lloyd's into that. Or maybe you're like Ben, and with his free time, he was able to do more developments and set up his second arm to the business, locking down 12-unit townhouse reno and making sure that he can get into his new ranch as well. Or maybe like Michael, it was his big thing was making sure that he could move out of doing small jobs and into larger, more profitable ones for him. And, you know, with the new marketing, able to sign much larger projects. Or maybe it was Dan and Dave, all right? And what they were able to do was get into their commercial premises and start paying themselves salaries for the first time. Or like Richard from Dimension Building, who went from 2.5 mil to 5.5 mil while maintaining his gross profit margin and getting it back up to 24% when it was down at 12 to 15. So wherever you're at, and Richard's actually kicked on really nicely. He's sort of at 12 mil now, won a lot of the Master Builder Awards, team of 30, 2 locations, and a growing property portfolio, featured in all the glossy mags. So Richard's an absolute weapon, great guy. So wherever you're at, okay, we want to work out your BMD, but first we need to reclaim your time and identify what's called your professional builder's rate, okay? So here's Brian. His 12-month goal is being able to have a client base that are both recurring and positive word-of-mouth references, as well as not having to depend on needing 3 or 4 clients a month to make ends meet. Awesome, Brian. Okay, cool. Nice. So step 1 for you to take action on some of these things is to first identify our PBR, or our professional builder's rate. And what we do is we track and measure this with our members every single month, because we want to see this trending up and to the right, okay, and getting higher and higher. And it's relatively straightforward. So I'd like you to do it for the last 12 months. Okay, so I'd like you to answer these questions. What did you take home in terms of salary in the last 12 months? And in this example here, that's $70,000. Okay. What did you then take home out of company drawings or profit? What did you draw from the business? And in this example here, that's $70,000. We add those two together to make $140,000. We then divide that by 52 weeks, because I hope you took at least 2 weeks holiday. But if you're really bad, then you can divide it by 52 if you took no weeks holiday. But if that's the case, then please listen up, because this is for you more so than ever. So we divide 140 by 50. That gives us an average weekly rate of 2,800. And then we divide that 2,800 by how many hours you work on average. And in this example, that's 60 hours, okay? And that brings our hourly rate to $46.66, or $47. which honestly, you'd probably make by going and working for somebody else. So type in your back and napkin math and your a little bit of man math, to be fair. It's just back a napkin at the moment. It's not super scientific. You can pull your numbers and do this more specifically later. But do this exercise for me now and type in what's your PBR currently and where do you need it to be based on the exercise that we just done previously, the focus on the results in terms of where you want your profits to be and what you actually want to be paying yourself salary-wise. Because Brian, if you're going to free up time to improve your potentially marketing and sales process, to get more word of mouth work, and to make sure that those projects are also priced at good margins and then delivered at good profitable levels, then you're going to need to reclaim some of your time. And to do that, we want to first identify all the tasks that are below your PBR and below your professional builder's rate, and identify those tasks that you shouldn't be focused on and that should be part of your stop doing list. So hopefully this is making sense and I didn't do that math too quickly, everybody. Hopefully the math's relatively straightforward. We want to identify our PBR, our professional builder's rate, and we'll do it by taking our total salary, total drawings, combining them together to just basically form our total take home, dividing that by weeks worked in the last 52, and dividing that number by average hours worked per week to find a approximate hourly rate for yourself. And then what we would do is we would measure that monthly together to make sure that you are getting paid your worth, or we're focused on what tasks are actually most important for you. Awesome, Brian. So $41 an hour approximately, based on working 55 hours a week for 51 weeks. Okay, Brian, more holiday, man. We got to work in to get you to more holiday. All right. You cannot be the best version of yourself turning up if you're just burning the candle at both ends. But I appreciate that that's easy for me to say and often harder to execute. So hopefully today you can take a couple of strategies away that will help you get there. And one of those strategies that I'd like you to do next, Brian, is everything that is below $41 an hour, is going to fall onto your stop doing list, which is on these pages here of the worksheet. Okay. So your stop doing list, let me zoom in and can you guys see that at home? Have I zoomed in enough? Hopefully that works. So everything that is, you could do this from a couple of perspectives, and I like to do it from the really strict one, like really hard-nosed one to start with. And I want to go, what is everything that I currently spend my time on that is at or below my professional builder's rate? Because in theory, I shouldn't be doing that. It's below my pay grade. It's below my hourly rate. And there's probably somebody I can find that I can pay $41 to or less to do these things. And that could be things like doing admin, doing the takeoffs. Maybe you can find somebody who's an expert at Build Exact rather than you doing all the data entry. Maybe you shouldn't be dealing with emails. Maybe you shouldn't be picking up materials and driving between sites. Maybe you shouldn't be answering the phone call from that client at 8 p.m. on a Friday or Sunday. Maybe you shouldn't even be working on Sundays. Maybe you shouldn't be doing the site setup, pegging the corners. Maybe you shouldn't be doing all the coordination of the subs and the scheduling. Maybe your PBR is in the range of being above a project manager or a superintendent or a contracts manager. And maybe your PBR is finding somebody that can run the projects, and that would free up most of your time. So what I'd like you to be doing at this point, guys, is I'd like you to be doing your PBR calculation, your professional builders rate calculation, and I'd like you to be listing out all the tasks that you currently do that are below that rate. And if anybody's got any questions, queries, then let me know, because now's the time to really unpack these specifics and work out, should I be delegating this? Should I be scheduling this? Should I be outsourcing this? Should I be doing it at all? Maybe I should eliminate it entirely. Okay. So should you delegate, dump it, automate it, outsource it? What are the specifics? So Andrew, Colleen, Connor, Craig, Dave, Emily, James, John, Kyle, Lauren, Luke. Hopefully this is good for you. Can you type in either one or two things from your stop doing list or your professional builders rate, where it's at and where it's going? I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see it, because no judgment. We've got members who come to us and they've got horrible PBRs. It's like they went backwards last year and the PBR is really, really low, in which case there's not a lot of cash flow or money to outsource things. Like, what do we do when we can't afford people? Okay. Well, in those instances, we need to automate and schedule and get really clear on what we need to focus on. And then there are other members who come and they've got really high PBRs. They're like over $200, right? And it's in those instances where we got to get really real around how we start transferring that wealth from the business into our other opportunities, and start delegating things and building a really strong management team. Awesome, Connor. So second year of business at 48 PBR. And then have you identified where you want that PBR to be? So 48 at the moment on second year, well done. And where's it going to be in the end of third year? So where are you at and where are you going? Or what salary do you want to take? And then what profit do you want to draw? And then how many weeks extra holiday are you going to take? And how are your hours going to decrease from A to B? Okay. Okay, well done, Steve. So you don't do jobs under 25% or free estimates. Well done. Okay, nice. So in that case, Steve, we want to, did you post in your PBR? Not yet, but Steve, your next thing is, if you do heaps of these tasks on your stop doing list, we want to identify which ones can we or should we delegate and who to, automate, and eliminate entirely. Like maybe you just need to delete.
Sorry, you guys, for the technical issue. Well, I'm sure Owen is getting right back in. Thanks for being here and participating. Yeah, I think Owen just lost his connection momentarily, so I'm sure he'll be jumping right back in. Do you guys have any questions that we can pass on to him when he gets back in the room? We can talk about those now, or if you have any questions in general. Oh, there he is already. So sorry, Owen, but after we have Owen present today, this is being recorded and we'll be sending out via email. So you guys will get all of this again and also have the workbook to keep working on. Thanks, Owen. Welcome back.
Apologies, guys. I don't know what happened there. The person peddling the internet must have gone smoko or something. rather embarrassing, but apologies. So we're back, and hopefully we are still ready to rock and roll, and everybody can see my stuff. So let's keep moving. We've just done our PBR and our stop doing list. And the next step for us to get through is really getting clear around what systems will help us best and what systems we need to put processes in place for, or what people we need to hire. So I'm conscious of time. I want to respect your guys' time and stay on track. So we're going to hit some of these systems at pace, and just put your hand up and let me know if any of them stand out to you, or if any of them will be helpful, and we can unpack them in a bit more detail. So so what we want to do is want to make sure that we can attract the right kind of leads for the work that you're after doing. Okay, so that's making sure that we call out really specifically in our marketing the type of people and projects that we want. Most people get their marketing wrong, and that they don't answer the 4 key questions and the 5 main concerns on their landing page, social media, and signage, which is: who are you? Who is your team? How can I trust you? And how can you help me specifically? Okay, I've got concerns around timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication. So these are the 4 questions and the 5 concerns that your marketing must answer to help people have confidence in making a decision to build a home with you. So these 4 questions, these 5 concerns, we like to answer using what are called the marketing pillars. And I've got a few of those resources available for download for you today. And I will be sending those out to everybody that's attended here. And what these marketing pillars do is, and I won't list all of them out because sometimes I forget 1 or 2 of them. There's about 9 of them. And they're your how we work with you process, your professional promise or guarantee, your case studies and testimonials, your preferred partners or trusted suppliers, your meet the team, your magic story about who you are, and your lead magnets as well. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that your sales and marketing is really dialed in, and that you can get work online and you can get work offline. So for everybody that has a relatively low PBR, maybe cash flow is tight, and maybe investing in marketing is tough. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we forward stack some of the marketing with no money down. Okay, so I'm sure we've all kind of experienced this, where we pay for marketing, right? And then we get leads, and then those leads turn into jobs. But let's be real, in our industry, from a lead inquiry to a contract signed, money in your bank account, that can be anywhere from 2 months to 2 years in some cases. If you're doing a really high-end, high-spec project, it can be a long time before you actually start receiving cash. So that's tough to float the cost of advertising before you get paid for your project, right? What we want to do is we want to do a couple where we can flip that on its head, and we can generate the lead, work them through the sales process, close the contract, get paid, and then pay out, in this case, the referral fee. So a lot of our members will use the 1% referral system, where they allocate 0.5% or 1% of a contract value as a referral fee to the referrer. And that could be local sports clubs, architects, draftsmen, accountants, mortgage brokers, wealth advisors, real estate agents, past clients, team members as a bonus scheme. And what we want to do is we want to turn these sub-trades, suppliers and merchants, we want to turn these people into your sales reps, basically. And they'll get paid anywhere from 0.5% to 1% of the contract value, either as a cash incentive or as a gift. In this case, you could send somebody to the Bahamas, you could send somebody to Disneyland. Like, what is the incentive for them to refer work to you? And in this case, we can turn the town into your own marketing machine. So we've got a few members that have done this with local sports clubs. So they've gone and done no money down sponsorships of the yacht club, the golf club, the tennis club. All right. And any leads that come in from those communities, the club then gets a 1% referral fee capped at 15 grand annually. So rather than the $5,000 annual sponsorship fee, they end up getting a far higher upside, but it's cash flow positive for them. And they don't then pay the cost of marketing until they've actually signed the project. Would that be helpful for anybody? Put your hand up if you're after your sales and your marketing and you think that answering those 4 questions and those 5 concerns with our marketing pillars would be good, or maybe swiping and deploying the 1% referral system for no money down marketing. Or maybe it's more of a charging for your estimates, right? And you need to make sure that you map your sales process, get really clear around the scripts and the stages so that you don't lose leads while you're off away pricing them using Build Exact, and they don't cool off or get cold before you present the quote to them. You need to make sure that you get the right scripts in place, right qualifying questionnaires, maybe an information pack on who are you, who's your team, how can I trust you, and how can you help me specifically? And those 5 big concerns: timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication. Or maybe you need to present the quote as an action plan so that rather than it being 4, 5, 6 pages of numbers, and then the client going, why is that one so expensive? I think my brother's second cousin could do the driveway for cheaper. You're able to present the quote in a manner where anybody could present it, maybe if it's below your PBR, or you're able to go through and you're able to educate people on why they should choose you over any other quotes that they get. So you're not comparing apples with apples, but you're introducing variables other than price, such as, like I've said 100 times now, timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication. Is this helpful, guys? Give me a thumbs up or let me know if I just need to skip this part and get to some of the other stuff. Here we go. Nice. My son is coming on board at the end of this month and will help alleviate a lot of this. Awesome, Steve. We're currently working on our website and developing a referral system, so this is helpful. Nice, Colleen. Remember, put your website through the framework of who are you, who's your team, how can I trust you, and how can you help me specifically? Does this answer the core concerns around timeline, budget, trustworthiness, quality, and communication? The best 2 marketing pillars that you can use that I'll be giving you templates for today is your how we work with you process and your professional promise or your guarantee. Your 5-star, why I should choose us over anybody else. And honestly, as a level 1 version of it, it should just be, there's 5 reasons you should choose us, timeline, and then the 5 main points, and then get real specific, right? So for example, budget, we use Build Exact to make sure that we hit an accurate and detailed budget so that there's no nasty surprises or cost blowouts during the build, right? And any change orders will be processed with you before proceeding, and you'll be able to sign them off, okay? So remember, in marketing, and if this is where you're at the moment, Colleen, we want to do what's called an information asymmetry. You know a lot about building, and the client often doesn't know a lot, and we want to educate them as much as possible, and that's where those, just telling them about the processes and systems that you use and letting them know why that's important is really key. Cool, nice. A couple of thumbs up. Thank you, Dave, Craig, Brian. Nice, excellent. Luke, scripts and quote closing would be fantastic. Yeah, 100%. Knowing what to say when you pick up the phone rather than, g'day, mate, just up a ladder, give me 5 minutes and I'll be able to be with you, is massive. Hello, welcome to XYZ Construction, just so that I can help you best. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? When you're looking to build, have you built before? Have you got anybody else estimating this project? What's your timeline look like? And so on. Nice. Cool. So what's it costing you not having a system in place for this? Because you've identified where you're at, you've identified where you're going. Okay. What is it costing you not having that system? All right. I've already asked this question a few times, so I won't do it. But let's move now to our numbers and pricing, because a lot of you said, I want to make more money, which, let's be real, that's why we got into business in the first place, okay? If we just wanted to build amazing and beautiful projects, we would have gone and got a job for somebody that's already doing that. So we clearly want the flexibility of our time and the flexibility of being able to make more money. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this one. And I want to start with margin. what are your true numbers? So we had somebody before say they don't quote anything below 25%. Well done. That is perfect. We typically want to see our golden ratios on our profit and loss. And this varies by size of contract and type of project. But the golden ratios are usually going to look like gross profit of 20 to 25%. Ideally, it can be higher. Okay. Expenses or overheads of 8 to 12%, and then a net profit of 10 to 15%. Okay. Now, obviously, this can vary and change based on size of contract and type of project. But for extensions and additions or new builds that are over the $800,000 to $900,000 mark, and for total sales or revenue between the sort of $3.5 to $6 million mark, those are the kind of golden ratios that we would expect to start seeing. Okay, so type in, are your golden ratios in range or out of range? Do you know your margin, or are you applying a markup? Okay, because the difference that this has on the total work you must do is huge. Okay, so it could be the difference between having to turn over $5 million to hit your profit target, or turn over $2 million to hit your profit target. When we want to work smarter, not harder. So again, if, for example, your total fixed costs of running the company, including your salary, so phone bill, insurances, vehicle costs, Build Exact, any other softwares you've got, any employees that are off the tools, okay? So in the office, if we add all that together and let's say it comes to 200, and then we want to make a desired net profit of 300, we add these two together, and the total fixed cost, okay, the total that we need to achieve is $500,000. Now, to achieve that, okay, which is basically our gross profit, we either need to do $5 million total sales at 10%, 3.75 at 15, 2.5 at 20, or 2 at 25%. Okay, we apply markup. Awesome, cool. So that just means that our markup is always going to be greater than our margin. All right. So here, let me share with you this one. And this will give you an idea of it. Can you see this markup versus margin table? Hopefully that's popped up for you guys. Can you see that okay? Yeah.
Yes, it's
Cool.
perfect.
Nice. So the difference between markup and margin is that you're going to be, if you're applying a markup, it's going to be lower than a margin. So if you're applying, let's say, a 25% markup, it's really only a 20% gross profit margin. Okay. If you're applying a 33% markup, then that's 25% gross profit. And we want to be hitting between 20 and 25% gross profit margins, which means that you should be applying a minimum 25% markup upwards. Okay. Now I can go through some more specifics if this is jumping out to people as an area of opportunity. But I'll also either take a screenshot of that at your end, or I'll send it through in the notes after today's session as well. Cool. Awesome. And that obviously then flows into the number of projects that you have to do. Okay. So maybe one of the opportunities that you guys had at your end was increasing the contract value of the jobs that you need to do. Because as you can see here, to get to 5 mil turnover, we can do 20 projects at $250,000, or we can do 10 projects at $500,000. And there's a lot of difference in the amount of dealing with clients, sub-trades, ordering materials, delivering materials, dealing with change orders on 20 projects versus 4 projects. You're running 2 entirely different businesses to make the same amount of money. So we could run business A, try and turn over $5 million by winning work at low margins, and you could do small contract sizes and do 20 projects a year. Or you can run business B by turning over $2 million to make the same amount of money at 25% margin and do $500,000 projects, meaning you complete 4 annually. This is going to be a completely different marketing machine, sales process, estimating process, team structure as well. And I know exactly which business I would prefer to run. Cool. So if this is you and you've got low margins or markup, and you're at the moment sort of applying anything less than 25% markup, then one of the resources that I'll send through will be really helpful for you in improving your profitability on site, both going into and coming out of a project, because there are really 9 immediate levers that we can look at to improve markup or margin profitability. Okay. And that's going into and coming out of a job. Okay. There's a more extensive list, obviously, of 151 ways, but I'll cover off these immediate 9, which is pricing, positioning, sales, and marketing. So before a contract is signed, we can, go in with too low of a markup or margin, or we could go in with a good, healthy one. And that comes down to the pricing. Use Build Exact, get it dialed in. The positioning, do we have more word of mouth referrals and people going, look, Owen, I don't care how long it takes or what it's going to cost. I want you to be my builder of choice. Sales, do we have a sales process that nurtures and positions and introduces variables other than price so that they're not just choosing the cheapest person? And marketing, can we generate more leads so that rather than being worried about only having one lead on the docket, we can have a couple and we can go, look, if you don't want it, that's fine. I've got 5 others to price. And that's the cost. Like you're there to build the project, not to finance the project. Okay. And we earn the right to do lots of cool projects, but you initially specialize in profitability. We want to specialize in high margin, high markup projects that allow you to fund the growth and the business that you want to build, rather than taking jobs because they look beautiful, because they're at low margin, they might lead to more work. Okay. That is not how we win. High margin businesses win, and hopefully this checklist and some of the things covered today will help you get there faster. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because I want to make sure that we cover our A to Z of operations before we wrap up. Now, this is also available on the workbook that we have gone through a few times already today. Okay. And it looks like this, but what the A to Z of operation, here it is in the workbook. Okay. What the A to Z of operations is a flow chart of how a lead flows through the business. Okay. So right from the beginning of the initial qualified lead or getting it come in, right through to, compliance, handing over the keys, shaking the hand, and then updating the website with your testimonial or your stuff. And at each stage, we want to identify a person and a process. We want to identify a who and a how. Who is in charge of it and how do they do it? So the answer should not be, I'm in charge of it. And the answer should not be, I do it with my brain. We need to have either a checklist or a script or a pricing software or a process to generate a quote as an action plan, to set the site up correctly, to order the materials, to process the change orders. Okay. And then we want to identify a who. Is that a foreman, an office manager, an estimator, a project manager? Maybe you're going to go from being responsible for 95% of the actions in your business, or you want to get that down to 75, then to 65, then to 55, and so on and so forth. So type into the box, do you feel that you're currently responsible for 100%, 50%, 30%, or how many stages of your A to Z of operations would you be responsible for? And what are the red lights that need to be solved first that also fall under your stop doing list? And that is where we would start. Steve, 100%. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, all of the red lights are going to be your stop doing list tasks. They're going to reclaim your time most. Okay. Cool. And the reason that this is important, guys, is because from here, we can start building out really clear scope of responsibilities or scorecards for each position, including yourself. So including you as the business owner, what tasks and stages of the business are you responsible for, and how can we keep that accountability? Getting scorecards and clear KPIs in place. And the reason this is so important is because just like our member here, okay, who remain anonymous because he's an absolute weapon, is really important. So as you can see, I've just had the best part of 5 weeks off and the sites are humming. I've also planned my next holiday in April. I visited the sites today. I don't really know why. They don't need me anymore. I came back to my office. Someone else is doing all the old jobs that I previously hated. So what we want to do is, this might seem far off for some of you who are in the startup or survival phase, but with a high margin, right kind of projects, A to Z of operations, and then clear scorecards to map exactly who's responsible for what and what success looks like, following a process, we can do it. We can get there. And that would include everything on site as well. So breaking the job down by stage and then making sure we've got a really clear quality control checklist, a handover process for the sub trades so that nothing is missed, and then setting everybody with a really clear weekly structure. Just like Alvin as well, who took 6 weeks off and went through Europe. And while he was away, his team made a sale. Now, Emily's awesome. Emily's his office manager, but she's definitely not somebody that you would initially imagine would be able to make a $400,000 sale. The reason she was able to do it is because she's got a really clear process to follow and a good framework for success. A quote as an action plan, a project manager that helped estimate the job, and then sales process and a script to follow. Alrighty. So guys, we're in the home stretch, and the next part is for you to pick your strategies. Now, these are all at the back of the book that we've been going through, okay? And there's a lot there. So your goal should really be to identify the systems and the processes and the strategies that are going to help attack and raise your PBR, help solve your stop doing list and take tasks off of your stop doing list, okay? Those are the strategies that you should be looking at initially that are going to reclaim some of your time. Now, I'm just conscious of the time, and I want to make sure that I don't leave you with going over, but I also want to make sure that you get everything that you need to be successful. So the next steps, once you've identified your long list, is to break that down to a couple of key strategies and then put that into the plan that's at the back of that book. Now, I appreciate that I've moved at pace here in the last couple of moments, okay? So like I said at the very beginning, all right, we are available to help and assist, completely no obligation, okay? And all this will do is help you sort of prioritize and identify exactly what it is you need to be working on and how you can move faster. So these would be some of the criteria of people that should, get in touch or have a chat with us if you want to accelerate some of these systems and processes. Okay, you must be running a building construction company and ideally focused on the residential market. That is our expertise and exactly what we dial all our systems and processes into. Okay, you must be willing to sort of invest at least 3 to 5 hours a week on the use and implementation of these things. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an additional 3 to 5. You might already be working on your business or doing business development activities, and maybe you're just going to repurpose those hours from what you were doing into this stuff here and a clear plan. You must be coachable, so willing to open to new ideas and opportunities. Okay, we want to make sure that we work with people that are really ready to take things to the next level and actually put in the work to get the results. And then you're willing to take things to that next level. So there's no magic, no silver bullet. There's only lead bullets, and we follow a proven and true process of the builder's ladder and moving up that builder's ladder that we've gone over today. We'll take all the systems from our roadmap, okay, and we will plug them through the lens of the builder's wealth model. All right, so we've covered a lot in the last sort of 60 minutes. All right, but like I said, what is the opportunity? Well, like I said at the very beginning, let me get all the way to here. We're going to do this game plan, okay? And we normally kind of do this at $9.95 plus any taxes. It's completely free for everybody that's turned up today because you've put an hour aside to work on your business, and that's massive. So what we want to do is we want to help you as best as we can, okay? And you can do that by visiting the link and booking a time with myself or one of our team at www.calltpb.com. Answer a couple of the questions that are on that page just so that we know exactly who we're talking to and we can help you best. And then from there, we can map out exactly what you should be focused on and working on over the next 12 to 18 months. We were going to work out 3 main things, basically. We're going to work out where you're at and where you're going, okay? Get really clear around that BMD, business maturity date, around that PBR, professional builders rate, and around your stop doing list. What we'll then work out, number 2, is we'll work out exactly what you should be working on in what order. So you know to do exactly that. You know, what you should be spending your time on and what you should prioritize first. Start closest to the cash and work out whether we should fix our sales conversion rate, our average contract size, whether we should work on our marketing, on our hiring, or on automating and buying back our time. So we'll get a really clear step-by-step roadmap and step-by-step plan. And the third thing that we will do is we will review your numbers with you to make sure that you've got a really clear understanding of how much money you can extra money you can make or time you can reclaim back by implementing and using these systems. So rather than just having a chat, we'll pull back the curtain and really inspect your P&L with you so that you know what the strategic quick wins can be and the more longer-term plays should be. So hopefully today's been helpful, guys. I think I'm being pulled from stage, and that's cool. I want to make sure that you stick to time and that you're off conquering the rest of your afternoon. So thank you very much for today, everybody, and hopefully you've got some good value. I'd love to hear what that is. So type in the chat box, like, what was your main takeaway, biggest BFO, blinding flash of the obvious, or thing that you're looking forward to most receiving in the follow-up email from today. It could be any of those free resources. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And here's to your success.
Huge, Owen. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. Great presentation. Thank you for the engagement, everybody who was able to attend. As Owen mentioned, there are plenty of opportunities to get in touch with them. Much of it is up on the screen now, but we will be sending out a recording of this session along with another link to the workbook and contact information so you guys can go in and book your time with them. So thanks again to everybody who attended, and thank you so much for the great presentation, Owen. Really appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. Sorry, Brian, I'm only just seeing your question now. All those pulled out quotes that you've highlighted as being positive are ways that are showcasing to me that I don't have my company anymore. Hopefully you're good, Brian. So basically, dude, you can't get too worried about all the opportunities. Just small hinges swing big doors. All right, small steps and progress focused on your time and your profitability, and you'll get there. But if you want to make your question a little bit more specific, I might be able to help a little bit more. But hopefully, thanks everybody. Lots of thanks in the chat box. Luke, we'll get that stop doing list through to you as well, my man. So that's great.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Take care, everyone. Bye.